All right, so we're trying to solve 3x plus 5y equals 10 for y. But to just get started, we're going to work on an equation with one variable. And so let's just look at 3 plus 5y equals 10. And remind ourselves, how do you solve an equation algebraically like this, linear equation? So we're going to first subtract 3 from both sides. And when we do that, we've got nothing over here. And so just 5y. Combine those like term constants. And then over here on the right-hand side, I'm going to combine the like term constants, and 10 minus 3, that's 7. Finally, there's only one step left. There's this coefficient. And so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And on this side, when I divide by 5, 5y divided by 5, that's just y. And over here, when I divide by 5, 7 divided by 5 is conveniently 7 over 5, or 7/5. All right, so we've solved for y in this equation that only had y. And when it's an equation with one variable, you just say solve the equation. But over here, it's an equation with two variables. And I'm going to be solving for y, thinking that, well, y is the variable, and all this other stuff, including the 3x, you do with them as you do with constants. So for example, the first step over here, we subtracted 3 from both sides to get it away from the y term. Well, I've got 3x. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And so 3x minus 3x, those terms cancel, and all I have left on the left is 5y. And over here on the right, back when we had 10 minus 3, well, 10 minus 3 is 7. Right now I have 10 minus 3x. And those are unlike terms. So you just leave it as 10 minus 3x. So now what I have left to do is to divide by 5. And so great, I'm going to divide by 5 over here on the left. And the same thing happens. 5's are gone. All I have left is y. And on the right, when I divide this by 5, I could either leave it as that crazy looking fraction with a 10 minus 3x in the numerator and a 5 in the denominator, or what I could do is distribute that division to both terms. So for example, in that first term, I have 10 divided by 5. That's 2. And in the next one, I have 3 divided by 5, or 3/5, times x. And you'll notice I could have called that 3x over 5. That's the same as 3 over 5 times x, 3x over 5. Those are identical. I like this way because now I have the two terms separated. Here's the constant term, and here's the x term.